We have more freedom, comfort, and entertainment than ever. So why do we feel so lost, so empty? We chase success, we follow trends, we build lives that look good on the outside. But deep down, something feels off. Something ancient can help. Plato lived through collapse too, wars, corruption, injustice. But instead of giving up, he asked better questions. What makes a life worth living? How should we love? Who should lead? And what if we've been looking for happiness in all the wrong places? This isn't just a crisis of economics or technology, it's a crisis of the soul. And Plato's philosophy was not abstract theory, it was a way of returning to the essence of what it means to be human.
This is Timeless Mind, where ancient wisdom clears modern chaos.
The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Plato believed the real war isn't out there, it's within, the battle between desire and reason. Plato didn't run from chaos. He stepped closer and asked the questions no one else dared to ask. What is justice, really? Can the soul be trained? And how do we raise future leaders who are not ruled by desire? We think of philosophy as something abstract, but for Plato, it was urgent, necessary, a way to rebuild what was falling apart from the inside out. We seek happiness in money, praise, perfection, but Plato warned us, this chase never ends. He believed true fulfillment doesn't come from adding more. It comes from turning inward, from understanding our soul and aligning our life with its deeper nature. And when it came to relationships, Plato didn't hold back. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. He believed the people around you shape not just your mood, but your soul. They either enrich your inner world or poison it. So choose wisely. Plato grew up around powerful people. He watched how easily a soul could rise or rot, depending on its company. He believed we don't just talk like the people around us. We start to think like them, want what they want, even lose ourselves. That's why he warned, if your circle drains you, it's not just unhelpful, it's dangerous. Your values aren't enough. Your environment matters too. You can't grow in toxic soil. No matter how strong the seed, the environment still shapes what takes root. Plato believed our minds absorb more than we notice. Tone, energy, priorities, even fear. If you're surrounded by shallow goals, you'll shrink. But if you're around depth, purpose, curiosity, you'll expand. Choose people who help your soul breathe. And when it came to desire, Plato left us this. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. He believed that chasing more never ends, but choosing less with clarity is real power, because true freedom is needing very little. Plato saw how desire could consume a person, not because they were evil, but because they were empty. He believed that the more we chase, the more we distract ourselves from asking what we truly need. To him, contentment wasn't weakness, it was strength, the kind that can't be bought or broken. Today we're told to always level up. More money, promotions, expensive things. But Plato warned, this constant craving doesn't fulfill us, it distracts us. If we always need more, we never arrive. Real peace comes not from gaining, but from knowing we already have enough. Next, a reminder for anyone who wants to teach, lead, or inspire. To be a great teacher, you must first be a great student. Plato believed wisdom doesn't come from talking, but from listening, observing, and learning deeply first. Before you guide others, you must be humble enough to follow. To teach well, you must remain a student of life. Plato believed arrogance blocks wisdom. Those who pretend to know stop growing. He saw learning as a lifelong process, even for the wise. True understanding begins with the courage to say, "I don't know yet." We admire experts in business, science, even self-help. But every master was once a student who asked uncomfortable questions. Plato reminds us, the smartest people don't always speak first. They listen, they question, they learn. And that's what makes them worth listening to. Next, Plato challenges the way we think about leadership. The measure of a man is what he does with power. For him, power was a test, not of control, but of character. The way someone treats others when they have power reveals everything about their soul. Plato lived in a time of tyrants and false leaders. He saw how power didn't corrupt, it exposed. The selfish became cruel, the insecure became controlling. And the wise? They stayed grounded because they served something greater than themselves. You don't need to be president to hold power. You lead when you have influence, as a parent, a partner, a manager. Plato's question still applies. When others look to you, do you serve your ego or your values? True leadership starts with self-mastery. Plato once said, "Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil." He believed most harm doesn't come from hate, but from thoughtlessness, from people who never pause to reflect, who follow blindly and act without truly understanding. To Plato, ignorance wasn't just a lack of knowledge, it was a refusal to think. Plato had seen it firsthand. What happens when people stop thinking for themselves? They follow trends. They obey authority without question. They trade their conscience for comfort, just to fit in. To him, this wasn't harmless, it was dangerous. Because when we abandon our responsibility to think, we become easy to manipulate. And when ignorance spreads, so does injustice. Plato didn't just fear evil actions. He feared a world where no one stops to ask, "Is this right?" Plato believed we all hear two voices. One pushes us to impress the world. The other whispers what actually matters. He warned, if you only listen to the loud one, you might win praise, but lose your peace. But if you follow the quiet, grounded voice within, you'll lead not with noise, but with presence. It's not about silence or power. It's about choosing the right guide inside you. Let's look at another core idea from Plato. The worst of all deceptions is self-deception. To Plato, the most dangerous lies weren't told by others, but by ourselves, when we cling to comfortable illusions and avoid uncomfortable truths. Plato believed self-deception is the silent enemy of growth. When we pretend we're fine, we stop asking hard questions. When we protect our ego, we block truth. For Plato, real progress began with one act, admitting the lies we tell ourselves and choosing honesty instead. Everyone has a lie they tell themselves. "I'm fine. I don't care. This is just how life is." Plato's wisdom reminds us, change begins with truth, not the truth you show others, but the one you whisper when no one's watching. If something inside feels off, listen. That discomfort might be the doorway to your real life. If even one of Plato's lessons stayed with you, if something stirred, even for a moment, then maybe you're ready for more than just answers. Maybe you're ready to ask deeper questions. Questions that hurt a little, heal a lot, and bring you home to yourself. If these ideas reminded you of who you are and who you still wish to become, then don't let this moment pass. Subscribe to Timeless Mind by Nikolaos. Each week, we return to ancient wisdom, to reset, reflect, and rise with clarity. This is your space, your philosophy, your voice remembered. Plato never promised easy answers. He offered something more powerful, the courage to question, not just the world, but your own beliefs, your fears, your desires. Most people live their whole lives in the cave, but you've started to turn toward the light. Don't stop now.